Hey folks, my name is Kyle Zabrowski. I'm a product manager, and this is the second demo of a product that I have built, a native app. Hey folks, my name is Kyle Zabrowski. I'm a product manager, and this video is a second demo of a product that I've built for scouting and planning needs for Western hunting exploration or camping trips on public land. So this specific use case that I'm going to show in this demo is for the pin cleanup. And the pain point that I was addressing and the story that would happen for me year after year is I would go out during the fall hunting season for weekend hunts, week-long hunts when I was lucky enough. And I just, over the time, based on my various outings and experiences, I would accumulate pins, and I would drop pins for random locations that then months later, after the hunting season had wrapped up, and usually I came back to my mapping application around the springtime when I started thinking about a bear or a turkey hunt, or even planning for the coming fall season, and I would just have a smattering of pins scattered throughout the state. Over the years, these have accumulated and built up. And so I wanted to test out and actually build a pin cleanup functionality. So for those of you who have seen the first demo, I'm going to utilize a generate new scenario button here. And where that's going to bring us is to a new spot within Idaho. And these are actual maps that are used. All of the controls and functionality with regards to pan, tilt, zoom are built in, and basically synonymous with what people experience across other mapping systems in a web browser. I went over the add pin functionality in the first demo, but I'm going to use it here as well to demonstrate how the pin cleanup functionality works and assesses pins based on metadata as well as location and proximity. So I'm actually going to add a pin. Assume this hunt or pin cluster is from a hunt. I'm going to add a random outlier, but still throw in there elk, and we'll call it a mark or a pin for an elk, and then just save that. And then I'm going to add a pin a little bit closer to the rest of the cluster and say elk spotted. And once again, we'll change that to elk and put some context in here. Saw a herd around 9 a.m. One thing I'm going to do is go back to this first pin that I created. And again, just look at how we get to tag it. And again, the folder structure right now is non-existent. So what I'm going to do now is run pin cleanup. And pin cleanup, again, in this instance, I systematically generate a bunch of pins, but it will take all of the pins in the location here. It starts analyzing it, and then over here on the right side, you get a folder structure recommendation. And so the nice thing about this is it actually recommends a folder name. It explains to you why did we group these the way with this recommendation. And as you can see, the system looks at like cluster, meaning distance from each other, time proximity. So did I drop a pin in this location back in 2022, and then this year I just so happened to return and drop one near, maybe that time proximity has some impact on it. And then also the metadata like elk, deer, water in this instance. So we get the whole folder recommendation, and then we dive into assessing each and every pin. And this is a much faster way of basically grouping these pins together. So your choices on this first go around for creating a folder, again, I have no folders in this instance right now, is you can basically say, yeah, put this in the recommended folder, or maybe this one, no, I don't want it in the folder. So the rest, just for the sake of time, I'm going to keep in the recommended folder. All I have to do is click accept group. In this next one, I'm going to buzz through it. Again, you can edit this. Like if I actually want to call it, hey, this is a glassing knob or whatever. That is something I can modify as a user. And one item to highlight, now that we have a folder, the system is actually pulling that folder in as an option for me to drop these new recommendations in. Again, I can say no folder. I'm going to accept this group, and then I'm actually going to show what a dismissal is. So no, I don't want any of these three clustered together. So the pin cleanup summary then is we saved 7 pins to 2 different folders. Okay, I can close that out now. I can go over to the folders tab and pull those up again, and I can always edit or remove these from the folder. Now I'm going to click pin cleanup one more time to show a specific experience that happens with this build, and that is that the system will not assess any pins that are already assigned to folders. So you don't have to go through the process of continually saying, no, this pin is already assigned, so ignore it. So as we go through here, you're going to notice that the system is only highlighting those that do not have a folder or a cluster already. And I'm going to dismiss, and then I'm going to make one highlight. So you can see that this kind of straggler pin that I threw out way out here has no recommendation. So the pin cleanup process essentially looked at it and scored it as very low confidence that it would belong in any of these folder structures due to the proximity of that pin to the others. Now, all of this kind of consolidates and cleanses the data that will then feed into some of the downstream functionalities that I am building and continuing to build out with regards to ultimately outputting a scouting and hunting plan in all of this. So for more of that, please continue to view and proceed to the next demo video.